Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 4.5. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is explaining to us how the different Nirmana Chittas that the yogi is creating interact and exchange with one another, and what kind of a relationship do they need to have for all the karmas to be exhausted from the karmashaya and for the yogi to be able to move towards the absolute or the Kaivalya. So now let's take a good look at the sutra, start breaking it up word by word, and then understanding even more deeply how this is possible and what the sutra is all about. So the sutra itself goes, Pravritti bhede prayojakan chitta mekamanekesham. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. Now let's pay attention to some of the words and what their meanings exactly are. So the first word here is pravritti, which indicates an intensive or specific type of functioning of the chitta. Then comes the second word, which is bheda, and bheda refers to differentness or differentiation. Then the next word is prayojak. And prayojak refers to the guiding force, the agency, the main conducting factor. And then comes the next word, which is chitta, which obviously means consciousness. We're talking about the chitta itself. And then comes the next word, which is eka, which means one. And the final word, which means aneka, which means many. Alright, so aneka is an, which means no, and eka, which means one, so not one, therefore many. Alright, so this is essentially the meaning of all the words, and now we're going to try to understand what the sutra is saying to us. So the sutra is saying that each of the different Nirmana Chittas are going to have different tendencies, alright, because this is essentially creating certain chittas for the exhaustion of certain types of karma or karma sanskaras. So based on the type of karma sanskaras that need to be exhausted, the tendency of each of those Nirmana Chittas is going to be different, right? And therefore, what needs to happen is all of them need to work in conjunction. It cannot be chaotic. And so to keep them in conjunction, in harmony, the essential part is the chitta of the yogi or the yog sadhak himself or herself. That essential or singular chitta needs to act as a conducting force for all these other Nirmana Chittas which are being facilitated by this one singular original chitta of the yog sadhak. So this is the meaning in short of the sutra, but now let's go even deeper and try to understand what the sutra is telling us. Alright, so essentially through this sutra, what we're learning is that each of the Nirmana Chittas that the Yog Sadhak creates tend to have their own tendencies, and they start to behave in a way that would help them to finish up the karma sanskara that they have been allocated, right? So let's take an example. Let's say there are 5 key karma sanskaras that need to be exhausted and used up. So the yogi or the Yog Sadhak is now allotting those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to different organisms and different bodies so that they can finish them up without accruing new karma. So while they're finishing up those karma sanskaras, they'll be doing action in a way that they're not looking for the reward or the return of that action. They're just finishing it off so that the balance is done. So now each of those Nirmana Chittas are going ahead and doing their job, but there could be a case where some of the tendencies or the allocations conflict in themselves, right? Because some of the karma sanskaras could be very different. One could be a very painful one that needs to be, finished up. Another one could be extremely joyful, and they might clash within the same time period or in and around the same experience. And therefore, the whole process of this finishing up of the karmas and the karma sanskaras needs to be conducted by the main chitta of the yog sadhak. So it's not that the yog sadhak has to be like, here, done, now my karmas will be finished off, I can just relax. It's not like that. The yog sadhak is also equally focused on what is happening, what is going on, how can we kind of conduct this entire process in a very seamless and smooth fashion. So just like the conductor of an opera really guides all the musicians and tries to bring the songs into a single harmony, in the same way over here as well, the main chitta of the yog sadhak is conducting, is facilitating all the other nirmana chittas to act and to move in harmony. And through that, they kind of are able to finish up their karma sanskaras and then exhaust whatever their job was, their allocation was. If the yog sadhak doesn't take charge and doesn't take responsibility, it would be very difficult to manage it, and there is chance for there to be chaos and confusion as to what is going on with all these different nirmana chittas finishing karmas that are contradictory in nature. So in order to avoid that kind of confusion and chaos, the yog sadhak has to take active participation in the entire process and ensure that all of it is going smoothly, is going really well, and really be there end to end from the whole start to the end of the process. And that's one of the responsibilities in a way of the yog sadhak who chooses to enter into this kind of a process. So that is what this sutra is indicating to us, that the conductor, the main agency of all the nirmana chittas is the chitta of the original yog sadhak himself or herself. So that is what this particular sutra 4.5 is trying to convey to us, and I hope that you've been able to understand the sutra. Of course, in these videos, we only cover the gist of the sutra, trying to explain it as easily and as simply as we can. But within our courses, classes and workshops, we cover it in a much greater depth and detail. So if you'd like to join in for those classes and workshops, the link will be in the description, and you can feel free to sign up and join in as we conduct these classes, courses and workshops. Apart from that, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, leave your comments in the comment section below, tell us what you thought about the whole video, and let us know what you think. Please also share this video with your friends and your family, and also subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for all the upcoming videos and updates, and we're super excited to share those with you. Now I'd like to thank you for staying tuned all this while throughout the video, and I hope to see you in the next one really soon. Until then, take care, keep practicing, and we're going to see you in the next one. Namaste.